Good afternoon, good afternoon, good afternoon again. Welcome to tonight's final front load and another episode of Spilling Tea. I'm your host, Tiffany Daniels. We are going back to that horrible world known as the JRC, but first, the brief disclaimers and the trigger warnings. If you're unfamiliar with the Stop the Shocks campaign or the campaign against the troubled teen industry, all pertinent links are right there in the description box, including the article written by Neuroclastic, a small non-for-profit started by autistic for autistics. In their article, they interviewed over 800 ABA professionals in regards to the JRC's so-called behavior modification program that got so much under the JRC skin that they threatened them with a defamation lawsuit. Please read the article and share it. We also got linked in there their GoFundMe, because us advocates, unlike the JRC, do not have access to unlimited funds. Alright? Now, our trigger warnings. When we discuss places like the Judge Rotenberg Educational Center, Agape Boarding School, or all places like it, whether it is the Tough Love camps or the evangelical schools, or places like the JRC that line up all the way across the Bible Belt, starting in California and going into the East Coast. You're going to hear some vivid descriptions of and catch clips or surveillance footage of people with mental health issues and disabled people being tortured and abused. If you got young children present, please use your headphones. Now, considering the subject matter in my mouth and the fact that I have no filter and at this age I'm not likely to develop one, this channel is marked not for kids for a reason. We do use profanity, we speak on dark subjects. If your child is 16 and younger and watching, parental supervision is very much advised. So, where we left off, it's gonna be our favorite comment from the JRC. Please, someone send the comment now. You all know what it's getting ready to be, right? JRC court authorization. You want to talk about something that makes me roll my eyes so hard I can see like some of the cool parts of like the back of my skull? This is it. To add the GED treatment to EL's behavioral treatment plan, and EL's behavior improved dramatically. We're going to have to go through all the same themes again, aren't we? God, why haven't you seen the comet or the meteor yet? Do my prayers mean nothing to you? Let's start with my favorite sentence that may be at some point tattooed somewhere on my back at this point. Judges do not go to medical school, nor do they go to any college to study mental health or study anything in regards to medicine and treatment plans when it comes to us developmentally disabled folks. They go to law school. Okay? These things are not the same. So continuing with court appointed, I feel deeply sorry for the poor trees that had to die so that this could be printed again. Okay? My point is this. But if the courts approve it, it's safe, has never been a good argument at any single point in time. Okay? Especially considering the state that we're talking about here. Okay? Judges make wrong judgment calls and make horrific judicial decisions all the time. This is literally, well, why appeals exist. If we were just supposed to trust the judge as though they are Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit, then there would be no need for the appeals process, right? Judges get it wrong all the damn time. All the time. And the fact that this is coming out of Massachusetts is especially pertinent. Because I'm going to say it for the conzillionth time. Outside of the United States, Massachusetts is known in Europe and the UK and throughout the British Isles for one reason, and one reason only: the Salem witch trials. Is anybody going to try and argue me and tell me, well, because it was the judge's decision to sentence the witches to hang, that was the correct court-appointed decision? No, nobody's going to argue that. Stop with the court-appointed nonsense. For the love of God, it's been damn near 20 years. I'm tired. We are all tired. It's not an argument. It's not an argument. It does not justify this insanity, this pseudoscience, and Dr. Israel's never-ending crazy. Okay? Good God. I'm so tired. You all have no idea how many times I've had to read that sentence. Judges do not go to medical school. Therefore, in regards to things such as mental health plans, developmentally disabled treatment plans and programs, medications, any of it, they have no idea in actuality whether they're actually safe or not. But Tiffany, they can call on experts. Then why has every time they have called on experts to help inform their decision, the experts they rely upon are the same experts that work for and get their paychecks signed by the JRC? Conflict of interest much? Well, obviously, this doctor who's a professional and works for the JRC says it's safe. So obviously it is, and I'm going to sign off on it. If you all don't see the problem there, I don't know that there's much help for you. It's like when Dr. Israel was doing his Wish.com version of Ross Perot. And the original was bad enough. Alright? Dear God. Stop using it as an argument. It doesn't work, especially considering the state, famous around the world for one of the most horrific judicial sentences ever given and carried out. You all are not doing yourself any favors every time you repeat it. Please spare us all. Save a few trees. God. And his behavior improved. Now, I'm going to mention another thing I've said a gazillion times. Let's say I'm in the middle of a meltdown. And my brother, by accident, in the same space, accidentally elbows me really hard. Can that shock one out of a meltdown? Depends on the situation, but if I'm not too far gone, yes, it can. It actually can. So, should the solution be then, because I know at some point, whether it's years, months, days, or here in a few minutes, I know I'm going to melt down again physically at some point. Should I then have my brother living here rent free so that under the chance of me having a meltdown, he can come out here and elbow me or punch me in the face to stop the behavior? No, it's batshit insane. Most people will watch their behavior under the threat of violence. Does that justify putting them under the threat of violence? No, it doesn't. When you behave due to the threat of violence, particularly if you're teenagers, how long do you think that effect actually lasts? And again, coming from Gen X, the last generation where corporal punishment was very largely used as something that was normal. Those of us who got our spankings, got the belt, did that stop any of our insane, life-threatening antics for good? No, because the threat of violence can only go so far. Eventually, we are going to do it again. A lot of times we'll engage in it, or we'll do something even more possibly life-threatening because we're angry for having received corporal punishment, and it is an act of rebellion and defiance. You all watch those YouTube videos now of the old camcorder videotapes we all used to make of kids jumping off of houses with no pads, jumping large drainage ditches with no pads, no helmets, shooting BB guns and shooting bottle rockets at each other. Do you think any threat of violence was going to make us stop that? Maybe for a week. Maybe. If you were lucky. Okay? We were literally the anti-PC, the defiant and rebellious generation, folks. The more times we were threatened with corporal punishment, the more likely we'll behave for a week, just long enough to get off being grounded after getting the belt. And you know what? Soon as we were let off the leash, we would do it again. A lot of times we would challenge ourselves to even more dangerous, reckless, stupid stunts. Okay? So saying, but the behavior got better while they're on the human shock collar, that is a human natural reaction under threat of violence. But just like everybody else under the threat of violence, it only lasts as long as the threat does. When the threat is gone, guess what? Which means, as I've said many times about the punishment model, the actual triggers to the behavior that you should be working on are still not even being addressed, let alone dealt with, or a plan formulated to start literally doing things that will help you get it a little bit more under control. We're going to close out on that because, yeah, I can't deal more with their court-appointed nonsense. Slamming my head in the wall a few times just to try to dislodge the stupid I was forced to read for the billionth time is looking like an attractive option, so I should probably give it a rest for the rest of the day. We don't get very many views on this channel. The few we do tend to get removed from time to time. Please don't forget to hit the like button, hit subscribe, don't forget to hit the comments. I appreciate your time. As always, folks, we here at Spilling Tea do hope you have a good one. I will see you all next time. Bye-bye, everyone.